Hello and welcome to Uni-Uncensored, the #1 hub for all things student related. Whether you're a current student, someone looking to become a student, or someone who has been a student wanting a nostalgic trip, then this is the place to be. I'm your presenter today, my name's Lewis and these are my co-hosts.
I'm Vaughan.
And I'm Joel.
And this is a preview of what's coming up shortly. Alright, so moving on to our first section, we're going to be talking about uni meals. Probably one of the most essential parts of university. So I'll start off. One of my favourite meals is probably scrambled eggs and chicken. What about you, Vaughan?
I quite like tuna pasta, to be fair, Lewis.
Less said about that, the better. How about you, Joel?
Personally, I'd go for a stir fry.
That's a great shout, that. And then out of our three, what would you say is the best?
I'm backing tuna pasta, I'm sticking with it.
I'd have to back my stir fry. Easy to get protein in, easy cook, about 10 minutes and you're done.
I'll keep that meal in mind. So moving on swiftly, we've asked some of our viewers on Twitter, which is you, to send in some of your worst uni meals you've ever seen or had to make, whether you're potentially on low funds. So we'll start with the first one on screen here.
Oh, what even is that?
Looks like cheese on some sort of like old expired mayo.
It looks like a depressing attempt at French fries.
To be fair, it doesn't even look that bad. I mean, I'd eat it on a low budget.
I'd rather starve, to be honest with you.
So if we had to rate that out of 10, I'd probably give it a 5 overall. What about you, Vaughan?
I'll go for a 2 out of 10.
I'm not giving that a rating, 0.
I think that's harsh. It's edible, but at the end of the day, it's just cheese on toast. Like, I'd be fairly happy with that, but let's roll on to the next one.
Oh,
That is vile.
that is quite bad.
I just don't get why they couldn't have bought some, like, buns and to put them in, but it's all right with the ketchup.
I think those sausages look grim.
Let's move on to the next one, shall we? Ooh, them noodles, you know what? Them noodles do actually look fine. I'd actually eat that.
What even? I don't know what is that? What they spread it with? Is that jam and?
It looks like
paint?
jam, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They look a bit like super noodles, to be fair, though, so I'd probably eat them.
I don't know what is on that hot dog, but it's not going in my mouth.
Right. Let's see the next one.
What's going on? It looks decent though. With popcorn chicken in the middle.
It doesn't look. It's bad, but it's not as bad
There's
as.
a lot going on.
I'd probably say it's probably our best one yet, to be fair. I mean, let's just move on to the next meal.
I mean, that's not even.
Oh.
Like, you can't even eat that. Is it like that's just mould?
Are you giving it a 0?
No, not going to give it that.
How do you
Less said, the better.
how do you even let your food get to that level of like that's awful? How do you even?
The orange still looks edible though. If you just chop off the top.
It's still gonna have mould on it, isn't it? 'Cause it's like buried under it.
Yeah, just chop the top off and you're fine.
That is grim. Let us know down in the comments which of those you guys would eat. And yeah, let's move on to the next section.
And interviewing
Dominic.
Cool. So my first question is, how are you finding like living in apartments? Like, is it change from home?
I mean, obviously it's a big change because living with your family, if you like the company, you're like feeling that just, I feel overall it's just better with your family, isn't it? But living on my own has not been too bad, to be fair. I have thought it's going to be worse, but it's been good so far.
Are you enjoying like waking up earlier, like not earlier, later than you usually would? Because like from home it would be like hours and hours. Yeah.
I mean, not a big change in that either, because I've always been waking up early for work back home, but it's obviously nice to have that 1 hour extra in bed. So yeah, that's good as well.
Well, lovely. Nice to meet you.
Alright, so moving on to our next section, we asked you guys to send in tweets about your worst uni stories so far. So let's roll them on. The first one is from Vert Season. Why don't you read that one out, Vaughan?
It says, I got so drunk once in Freshers Week and then came into my lecture the next day and started talking to random people and acted like they were my friends.
Oh, that's pretty awkward, that one. What do we think about that?
Genuine nightmare scenario. just imagine, like, can you imagine being the other person in that scenario, just walking up, like having some random lad walk up to you, acting like you already know them?
No, yeah, it's a bit awkward. Like, especially if you're acting like you've known them for the whole time you've been at uni as well. Like, it's awkward if you're not drunk as well. Like, doing it while that's worse.
It's one of those memories you wake up in cold sweat thinking about like 2 a.m. and you think, oh, why on earth did I do this?
Yeah.
Let's roll on to the next tweet though. This one is from Philip Thomas. Why don't you read this one out, Joel?
The first week in my accommodation, we had loads of fruit flies in our bin. Hashtag Southampton Uni.
Southampton Uni, fruit flies. What if fruit flies are awful?
I don't know. I ain't got accommodation, so.
That's true. You never had fruit flies in your house?
No. I don't think I know what a fruit fly looks like.
Yeah.
There's small little, there's literally flies but tiny.
like
I've had a few of my accommodations.
They're very hard to get. I've not had any of my accommodation, thankfully, so far. But back home, sometimes, you know, we leave doors open and stuff like that. And fruit flies, once they get in, they're hard to get out.
Exactly. Yeah, they're just a nightmare in general.
So yeah, if you guys have got any more wild university stories, you can leave them in the comments below. But let's roll on to our next section.
My first tip is to socialise with people. On your first days at university, get yourself out there, speak to people, introduce yourself and make friends straight off the bat.
My second tip is network with different connections and look at other people's profiles.
My third tip is to manage your money. Budgeting, organising and spending safely is the best ways to look after your budget in university.
My fourth tip is manage your time well, join orientations and go to societies more often.
Alright, so moving on to our next section, we're going to be talking about budgeting and probably, depending on your situation, either the easiest or the hardest part. Most students find this the hardest part, as people who are looking to become students are probably worrying about this section. So we'll talk about budget, and in our situations, we'll start with Joel. How are you finding it?
I'm finding it okay with student finance. You know, I found like creating a spreadsheet's really helped me sort of organise myself and like set limits as to what I can spend per week on what foods, and just like it's kept me like afloat and like a safe level since September now, and the next payment's in January, so looking good to get to them with enough money to eat, hopefully.
What about you, Vaughan?
Well, yeah, at the end of each month I put money aside, so I don't live in the accommodation, so I've got to put my money aside for travel instead. So at the end of each week, I'll similar to what I do on my notes, like Joel said with the spreadsheet, like notes on my phone, I make a note like I'm going to spend this much on travel and what I need to save for the next week and like the weeks coming up after that as well, so that's what I do.
For me personally, I was pretty bad at my student finance. You know, I had to pay off my rent for my thingy, which was about 3,000. Then I decided to spend a bunch on River Island. I bought a few vinyls and stuff like that, but yeah, I was pretty bad with that. But once I found a job in Manchester doing graphic work, I started to save a little bit of money, get a little bit better. And when I get my next year student finance in January, like Joel was mentioning, I think I'll definitely start saving it. But the one trap I can't fall into is just thinking, oh, I've got £2,000 in my bank account, let's go spend it. I think I've got to just be a bit smarter, or else I'm going to be living off those meals we just saw in the last section. So yeah, if you guys have got one tip to give to our viewers, what would it be?
I'd personally say calculate your average shop price before you go, to make sure that you're spending on average the same amount each time you go, and also make sure you're going to cheap supermarkets like Tesco, Lidl and that.
What about you, Vaughan?
Well, yeah, I do the same. I just, like I said earlier, I plan ahead, but look for the next month and what you need for this month as well. What have you got coming up? If you're going somewhere, if you've got stuff planned as well, you need to put aside for that. So just watching it and waiting for the week go by, just trying to plan as you go along. Just make sure you're always one step ahead of yourself as well.
Yeah, those are good tips. I think my best tip is probably treat yourself, but don't go too far with it. If you ever feel like I want to get a pizza, you know, get a pizza, but it's not like having a pizza every day or having an energy drink every day. You've got to be smart.
Yeah, you got to be disciplined.
Yeah, you have got to be disciplined, especially for money in university. That goes for general life, but university, where it becomes a bit more thinner, that's where it applies more, I think.
I'd also say signing up for uni days is definitely a saviour. Like on average, the amount of money you'll save just going out in random places where you don't even expect it to be eligible, it's saved me so many times.
Yeah, uni day saves me quite a bit on travel as well.
And if you guys haven't already signed up to Uni Days, we've got a link in the bio to this podcast. You can also scan a QR code right here, which will take you to Uni Days, where you can make an account and save up to 75% on your favourite brands. All right, so that's about all the time we have for this week's episode. Any final words from you guys?
just want to say thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
And don't forget to like and subscribe, as it helps us grow.
We appreciate you taking your time out of your day to watch us. This has been Uni-Uncensored. We'll see you next week, next episode. Bye bye.